What's going on, everybody? Bo here from Conde Systems. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Friday Live. It's the weekly-ish show that we do here at Conde Systems, getting you guys all of the latest and greatest news as to what's going on in the world of digital decorations, such as sublimation, direct to film, white toner, all sorts of things, laser engraving. We've got it all. We've also got 3D printing filaments. So go to Conde.com and check all of that stuff out. Again, my name is Bo. You can email me at bo@Conde.com. And yeah, I can, help you out if you have any sort of problems with any products. I can go through and I can walk you through what's new, what's the hottest, all sorts of things. If you want to talk about products, if you have questions, comments, concerns, go ahead, email me, bo@Conde.com. You can also check it out. You can also email us at sales@Conde.com, or you can give us a call at 1-800-826-6332. That's 1-800-826-6332. Yes, I say that number in my sleep sometimes, but you can give us a call there. Questions, comments, concerns, anything, go ahead and give us a call. I'm going to say good morning, or it's morning somewhere, I'm sure. But good afternoon, Chuck. How are you doing? How is everybody doing out there in the world? How was your week? How's everything going? We are we're getting to the end of summer here. I think we're officially almost at the end of summer. We are, what's today? August 22nd. We got a few more weeks left, or something, 8 days, another week or something left in the month of August. We're going to be having that, that Labor Day at the end of the year and doing all those things. So that means one thing. That means Christmas is coming. That means the holidays are coming. We can't forget and skip Halloween. Halloween is the greatest holiday of the year of all time. But today we're going to be going into something, and we're going to be talking about personalization and what personalization really means, and how you can choose your own niche and all of those sort of things to make sure that you are churning and burning through the holidays and you are the go-to source for everybody for their products. So yeah, that's what we are going to be going through today and doing today on this Friday Live. So yes, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and drop them into the comment section. Let me know what is going on in your world and all of those things. But we're going to jump right into this. I've got a lot of stuff today that I'm going to show you that's personalized products, and we've got some new product here that is that we did not personalize, but we ordered for you guys, and it is the Conde.com heat gloves. That's right. We've got a perfect pink and a galaxy green heat glove here, Conde.com, so you can remember where to get all your stuff. Double-sided. They don't come in packs of two. There's only one in a pack. So if you want them, you got to buy two of them if you want one for the left hand, right hand, all of those things. But it's got the little nubbies on it. Great for working with hot products and your heat press and everything else. Speaking of heat press, we did do a live this week with Mike over there at Hottronics, and he went through everything that Hottronics really has to offer with their heat presses. And right now we are offering a sale on the STX20. That is the STX20. It's the Stahl's Hottronics Auto Clam heat press. It comes with a free heat press caddy, which is a $550 value. And I don't know the exact weight offhand, but the STX20, the auto clam, it's 100 and some change, maybe 110, 115 pounds. So it's a pretty heavy press. The caddy is an amazing combo with that. I would not purchase the heat press without a caddy because that thing is heavy and you're going to want to move it around and all of those sort of things. So go to Conde.com, check out the STX20 if you are interested in a heat press. Comes with that $550 heat press caddy at no additional charge. It just gets added when you purchase it. So when you put that in your cart and push purchase and do all the paying and all those things, just those easy steps. Get yourself a free heat press caddy with that. Yeah. So here we go. We are getting into this. We're going to be talking about a lot of personalized products. I've got some personalized products over here, but what exactly is personalization? And personalization generally means to customize something to fit an individual's preferences, their identities, their needs. And it's about making that item, experience, or service absolutely unique for that person, exactly who that person is for. In our industry, it could be adding a name, a design, a monogram, a special feature to anything like a mug, a shirt, any product, just something that is unique to that buyer. Basically, it's about making things feel more than making it feel like it was made just for that person rather than a one size fits all. That is what it is right there. You can see me right here. I've got my Nintendo. It's hard to do. I've got my Nintendo logo on my apron. I've been customizing my apron over the weeks. Eventually, it's going to be full of all custom ideas and things about me. So when I'm wearing my apron, it's going to be custom, and I'll be showing that off for all of you people out there. Hello, Diana. I've missed all of you too. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I want to tell you guys, we're talking about personalization today, and personalization means it makes something special for the person that's buying it. And I want to let you guys know that every single episode, every time we do this, everything, you guys make me feel absolutely special, and I cannot thank you enough for this opportunity and this experience and this absolutely wonderful just job opportunity that I have. So I'm going to thank you guys for that. This goes with personalization and feeling special, and you make me feel special. And if I can make you feel half as special as you make me feel, awesome. So go ahead, give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, do all sorts of things that you see on that, and share and tell your friends about it. But we're getting into this, you can also offer what could be considered a pro level experience, having a custom website, having training and classes, Friday Lives and all of the stuff that Conde does here. Product support, walking your customer through the entire process, walking them through the process, showing them test prints and doing all of those sort of things, offering them a pro level package. That is going to make them feel, I hate this term, but it's going to make them feel like a rock star. It really is. Custom designs. Custom designs is so important to a pro level experience that I put it on there twice, and I probably forgot something. Something's missing from there. I don't know what it is, but product bundles. Make sure you can bundle products. Throw out there that you can do mugs and T-shirts. As a bundle. Do limited editions, limited drops, and stuff like that. Have personalized emails, targeted promotions towards specific people, making sure you're sending them to the right people, getting them to exactly what they want. Follow up with your customers, making sure that following up is going to make sure that you are beyond just selling them products. Thank you for your money. We'll see you later. We're never going to talk again. Following up means that you care about your customer. You want to grow everything with your customer. You want that experience to be top notch for that customer, and it really, really shows. Make sure you have consistent quality. Consistent quality is key, and Conde can offer you that. We keep the same vendors. We keep the products exactly the same. We want you guys to have consistent products because we want your customers to have consistent products. Offer small surprises in with everything that you're giving. That can be something like a sticker, a keychain, a bag tag. It could be something even just a sweets, a little bag of candies or something like that. And also create a community around everything that you're doing, because a community is going to create a personal experience for everybody there. They're going to be able to share and talk about everything. So, anything adjusted to fit what you are doing is going to make it personalized. It's going to make it special for everybody out there. The key idea of this, that's what we're going to get into, is that the key idea of professional level personalization is not just about products. It's about creating an experience that feels thoughtful, intentional, and is unique to each individual customer. At Conde, that's what I thrive for here. I really do thrive for having everybody to have their own individual experience. And sometimes it's really hard because, we do have people who are crafters, hobbyists, DIYers. We have people that are creators, but we also have people that are like the Monopoly man, and are running big businesses out there with their monocles. Does the Monopoly man have a monocle? I'm not sure if that was a Mandela effect, but that is something there that, you're gonna that troubles me, and you're gonna want to really get down to talking to your customers and making sure that that is a personalized experience for them. So personalization in real life that you may or may not know about is, streaming apps out there like Spotify makes a playlist to the songs you listen to most. Online shopping, Amazon is going to suggest things that you bought or looked at before. Emails are going to say something like, "Hello, Rodeo, we thought you'd like this," instead of a generic "Dear customer." And mugs and t-shirts, that's what we're into here. Ordering a mug with your name on it or quote instead of just a plain one, that is absolutely awesome, absolutely amazing. I'm always drinking out of, this is my cup right here. It's got my design that says coffee and chill. It's got Flyboy on it from Dawn of the Dead, and it says brains in the back instead of beans, for coffee and all those sort of things. So that's something there. I've got my Friday Live cup here that I sublimated too, that is personalized. So mugs are a very, very big thing. This one here, Beam Me Up Scotty, is something. It's I've had this one for quite a long time, and my grandfather is Scottish. My mom likes that he's Scottish. So, Scotty is something on there. Scotty Dogs is something that's always been in our family, but so is Star Trek. So this one, even though it's been through the ringer, it is now just I use it as a pencil holder and all those sort of things. So yeah, personalized products really, really do create a lot of things. It creates your own story. It puts you in the center of the story. It puts you in the center of the movie. You are the protagonist. You are all of that. You're the one that's going to go through all the struggles, but in the end, make it awesome. And that is why personalization is awesome. Here's why personalization is awesome for businesses and creatives today. It makes people feel special. We're going to talk about special a lot. When something is personalized, it shows that you understand that person, and really, really took the time to think about it. As a business, it builds trust and loyalties, which means customers are more likely to return. It increases engagement. Personalized emails, product suggestions, or content attracts more attention than generic messages of just, "Hey, buy, please buy." It's going to, people are more likely to click, read, or make a purchase. So before the last Conde closed, this was one of the last things I created, and I created my own superhero, and he is known as the Sale. All right. And the time really was, to act now. So creating personalized things has always been one of my passions in life. Just doing things like that, and creating just your own graphics, your own thing, sublimating it, and doing those sort of things. You can do this for customers. You can do this for businesses, all sorts of things. Just have fun with it. Just exactly like I did. Your time to act is now, but not so much these days. I really like comic books. I like throwing that in there. With the meanwhile boxes, all sorts of things like that. So yeah, that's really something that's personalized to me that I really find meaningful, and I think your customers will as well. As you're growing and doing things. Let's see, where were we here? Personalizing is definitely going to boost sales and profits. Products are recommended tailored to someone's specific tastes or needs, often sell better, and this really goes with when someone's on a trip or something, and their need is they need a Disney shirt. And sorry, Disney, don't sue me or anything for saying Disney. Or if they're going to New Orleans, let's say they're going to New Orleans. Let's forget the Disney thing and not get sued here. They're just going to New Orleans. You have a church group going to New Orleans, and you guys just want custom shirts for that. That's what personalization's for. That's really going to get those people to want to buy that. Then just everybody wear a blue t-shirt or something, it's going to have the church's name and what they're doing there, maybe the date on it, something like that. That's really where personalization's really going to take off. It's going to encourage creativity, not only from you, but from them. And they're going to want more from you. And it's going to be fun. You guys are going to have a ton of fun collaborating together. For creators, personalization allows you to craft your unique designs, experiences, or services that just stand out. It's not mass produced. It's all going to seem organic. It's all going to seem like it's made for an individual, and it's all going to stand out. And it's going to be awesome. I've got stuff here. I made this. I don't know if Conde still has this. I think they do. It's a keychain holder thing. It's got the keychains here that you put your keychains on. But this is for my wife and I, and it's got my pop figure. It's got that I drew. It's got my wife on here, Rachie and Bo. And this is something. This is a one of a kind item. That's pretty cool that you can put in someone's house. People are going to love this. They're going to love that their name's on it. They're going to love that you created a pop of them or a character drawing. Character drawings are awesome when you go on vacation. I've often wanted to get one, but I don't really want to see how that person sees me. But that's a lot of fun. Stuff like that is fun, and people like this. They'll keep this in their house for a very, very long time, and they'll treasure all of that. Something else that's new to Conde, and this is my iPad here, and we have the Uninet iColor, the iColor 250, and it is a label maker. It makes bottles. You can make hot sauce bottles or candle wraps. Beeswax is what I'm thinking, honey, stuff like that. You can make labels for stuff like that. You can have a mustache, wax company and put a label on top of that for people. But you can also make stickers out of it, and they're very, very affordable to make. That's the iColor. It's the i250 or the Uninet iColor 250. So I've got like my panda style. I've got my stinky wind up here. You can personalize everything. Stickers are a great way to personalize everything. We've got a lot of technology here at Conde Systems that can do a lot of this stuff. If it can be done, we've got it, or we know somebody who has it. And we can help you out with that. And also, it's going to provide data-driven insights. Businesses can learn, they learn what people like and improve their product services on experience, making everything smarter and more tailored over time. Personalizations makes people seen and valued, which drives loyalty, engagement, and creativity. My example on this is back in the 70s through, let's just say, the early 2000s, there was this wonderful, magical place we could all go to and buy things in person called the mall. Every town had a mall. It was a great place to go. You went there and you bought things, all right? And you could buy, clothing or cologne, the smell of Abercrombie, the smell of walking through Hudson's, Macy's, Marshall Fields, whatever it was called, walking through the cologne section and the perfume section is just something that's in me. You could get an Orange Julius, I never did, or you could go to Apple Annie's and get those sort of things. Where was I going with this? Oh, there was a place called Red Lobster, and it was in all these parking lots. And a few years ago, maybe a year or so ago, they went bankrupt. Red Lobster is not known for their lobster. They're absolutely known for their biscuits. And I hear their biscuits are legendary. But, they got a new CEO, and the CEO said, what is popular out there? And he said, boils. So they have boils, like crab boils and stuff like that. And he put out a survey, and the survey said, what is wrong? What do you guys like? What would you like improved? What's good about this? And he took the constructive criticism. People said it needed more seasoning, and he added more seasoning to it. And now, from what I've last heard, Red Lobster is doing really well. So listening to your customers, having those sort of things and their listening to your customers and all those sort of things. I know Diana Taylor is looking for someone that does sublimation photo albums, and that would be great. We do have a product here that could actually work if you hear me out. This is a product I tested a few weeks ago. It's my Happy Duder pencil company. These are colored pencils. It's a product we can get, so you can email us and let me know if you're interested in something like this. It does come with the pencils. I believe there's 20 pencils in here, but this is something that possibly we could make a photo journal out of, the pages inside of it, because if this is sublimatable, we could potentially have the vendor just make a book out of this or something, have this is something too that we don't sell this, but it's a binder here, and this is decorated with DTF. So we could do something like that, have them create that, and then put this sort of paper in there and have a sublimatable photo journal, something like that. That would be pretty cool, because photos really are pretty cool. It's something that a lot of people are out there. Everybody's got a phone. Everyone's taking pictures these days, and everyone is doing something like that. So that's really personalization in a just, it's really just the idea of making someone special, making them feel awesome, making them feel like the hero. They're the ones who are going to buy it. They're the ones that are going to wear it. It's the product really is all about the person buying it and making them feel good. Now at Conde, we do have a lot of products. This one right here is one of my favorites. It's the Flask 08. I almost forgot about the name of it. And we might get a thunderstorm here. It might be pretty interesting. We might have our own custom weather right outside here. It's getting pretty dark out there. But the Flask 08 is a product right here that is good for a lot of occasions and can make a lot of special events, weddings, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, the standard things like that. But, you can tell me some occasions, but the Flask 08 is good for almost any occasion. It's very easy to sublimate and awesome. We've also got a line of Polar Camel tumblers, we've got a whole line of Polar Camel tumblers. They go from laser engraving all the way over to sublimation, UV printing, and all sorts of things. Let's see if that does something. Peek in there. Hopefully you can see that. It's got the Conde laser engraved on there. I think you can see that. It's detecting for my face, so we got to cover up this beautiful face here. But that is something, personalization. Businesses want personalization. People want personalization. Everyone wants personalization. Just like my throat wants some water there. Socks are a great product. Socks are one of our hottest products. You go to any town, any tourist town, there's going to be a sock store, whether it's called Sock It To Me or Sock Mama or something like that. I'm just coming up with names, but socks are something great for personalization. Whenever I have an interview or something that is that makes me nervous, and I kind of have to dress up in a way because they are a little bit more dressy socks, but any situation I'm nervous and have to put pants on, which is a weird thing to say, but I have a pair of socks that has two of my cats on it. My buddy Magnum and my buddy Koopa are on them. They are no longer with me, but I feel like when I put those socks on, when I'm in that job interview, when I'm in that stressful situation, they're with me not only, on my socks, but in spirit and all of those sort of things. It's, maybe cliche, whatever, but it's my good luck charm. And that's really what personalization does. It makes you the superhero, all those sort of things. And being able to personalize makes you also the superhero because you're doing all of this for everybody. Now, here is something that I personalized. I wore this on my first live ever. I was looking for something today and I found this. And this is Caesar. I'm just going to say that this is Caesar Easy Weed on here. And it was my first live. I was nervous. I wanted to have fun. So I made my own shirt that said I'm with Joe with an arrow pointing towards him. And I think that the joke is that Joe wasn't on that side. He kind of walked me through and showed me everything. But, personalization for shirts, awesome time for personalization. This made me laugh when I saw this, and it really brought back some good memories. Talking of photography and photos and everything, yes, with something like a white toner or a DTF, you can take your photos and your glamour shot photos and all those sort of things. This was taken down in Mobile. You can put them on T-shirts. All sorts of different ways you can do this. This one is with a Creo white toner printer, but DTF works perfect. And yeah, This feels wonderful. This looks great compared to the actual print. Like it looks exactly like it. There's hardly any detail lost being put on a shirt. Now, this here is, I'm sharing personal things with you guys, and I hope that that's okay. But this here is one of the first, if not the first design I ever made. It's for a product that in 2025, would I recommend? Is that crooked or am I crooked? Um, it might be crooked on there. But anyways, it's for this product, Easy Subly, that I was very heavy into the creation of. And yeah, it's one of my first designs. I wish I still had this file. I don't think I do. But yeah, looking at how you grow over time. And this was, I think all products, I do think all products should have their own personalization, their own look, their own image, and all those sort of things. Yeah, and personalization doesn't have to be that. It could just be something like just conveying a message, like I need some space, something like that. Just fun things like that. So this is DTF, by the way. Very, very soft feel, very soft hand, has some good stretchability. What you want to look for, though, is not just the stretchability, how well does it stretch, but how well does it rebound and come back. So, there's all of those sort of things. Now we're talking about a whole bunch of products here. We talked about a whole bunch of products. Oh, well, let's just keep going with products. We've got this here. This here is the Tote 001. It's got my Panda style logo on it. This has actually been out in the wild with me, so it's a little bit dirty. It does have some stains on my side, looks like coffee stains. But I do bring this. This is my treat bag in the car or something. Go to the beach, throw some books in there. This is the Tote 001. These are very, very affordable, very good quality, awesome product. Image is great, but easily personalization, all those sort of things. We've got some new patches that I've been waiting to get for them up on the internet and all of that live on the website. But we've got some new patches. Patches are great. Hats are an amazing thing. You put this up here on a hat, and we're not blocking out the Tigers because they're the best team in baseball, second best maybe. But that's you can go there, you can go on your left chest, all sorts of things. Patches are great. Patches are easily customizable. They're very, very inexpensive, and they're fun. And never forget that we do have Slate here in stock. Now, this here is the first alligator that I saw ever down here in Mobile in person, live in the wild. This is Allie. And I pulled Allie out because over the weekend, I actually saw my second alligator. Believe it or not, you don't see very many alligators down here. We were at the park and we saw an alligator, and it was fun. It was exciting. So yeah, Slate, we've got all sorts of Slate in stock. So if Slate is your thing, SUSL, and then add some numbers in there, or just SUSL and hit enter. Slate that's going to get you to the Slate. Put that in the search bar. I love personalization. Absolutely love it. I've got some stuff here. I made this for my wife. It's got her pop figure there. It's her princess parking. This is how she knows where to park. You want to make sure people are out there feeling like princesses with their princess parking. Let me know if you know what princess parking is and what that's all about. It's got Magnum down here. It's got, Kaneka over here. It's got the cats. She's got her Switch. She's always looking for her inhaler. So it's got all of those sort of things, so that is something you can do. This is a Mako metal sign. I believe it's the MA 1044. I want to say. I always want to say 1040, but it's not. If you put in MA 104, you'll find it, or just go to the Mako metal tab. It's got the holes. You can get it with holes, without holes. I always go for the holes for some reason. I don't know. Cutting boards are great. You can put custom logos and stuff like this. I'm a big comic book person, so kaboom. Great for my cooking. That's kind of just how my cooking comes together. So me in the kitchen, that's how it is. Kaboom. Cutting boards. Great for the holidays. Great for, charcuterie boards. All those sort of things. Everyone can always use a cutting board. And then something else. I forgot I had this. So the Darlings. We've got the Darlings right here. And this is a serving tray. I want to just say this is just black. But the Darlings. So the Darlings, that's kind of our alter ego. I don't really like people knowing my last name and all those sort of things. So my name is Bo Darling. If you ever see me or anything like that in public, that's my alter ego. And this right here is a serving tray. You can serve a lot of things on it. What we serve on it is we use this in our kitchen. We put our spices on it and all those sort of things, our seasonings. So they're all right next to the stove when you're cooking. And if you want them with the food, well, you just bring this over to the table, put it down. But you can use a serving tray for whatever you want. Get as crazy as you want with it. And these are great for all sorts of occasions. You can go on Etsy and look at all those things, look at what they're selling for, get an idea of everything in that with cutting boards and everything, you know. So there's a lot of personalized products out there. And I just talked about a whole bunch of products. I talked about all of those sort of things. So I think that this is somewhere where we can kind of say, let's take a step back and analyze what we've been talking about and kind of just dial it into one area. We're going to start talking about niches. And a niche is a specialized segment of a market, area of expertise or interest where someone or something can focus and stand out. Remember, it's usually going to refer to a specific group of people, products, or services that have a unique needs or preference. So sublimation is indeed its own niche. You guys are in your own community, your own people, whether you like it or not. You're all grouped into being sublimators and creators and crafters and all those sort of things. But here is my example. And business and marketing, a niche is a narrowly defined target market. And you can say something like, my example here is a vegan leather backpack for eco-conscious college students. That's a niche within the larger backpack market. So we've talked about before, and I will do again, we've talked about the baby niche, we've talked about pet products. These are all niches that are inside of the sublimation and digital decoration type market, promotional products. We can talk about t-shirts as its own niche, streetwear. We talked about the church group having its own shirt earlier. Those sort of what is that even called? A group project shirt. I don't know. A memorial shirt. You can even take pets and take pets down into pet memorials or pet leashes. Just pet collars. As a photographer could be out there, a photographer could just specialize in pet portraits and all of those sort of things. And teaming up with people that do these make everything even better. What's going on, Mark? How's everything going with you? Team up with everybody and as I said earlier, create communities and grow. That's how you are. We had a wonderful community here at Conde. We're going to grow it back to what it was. We will. We're working hard on it because we got Rose back in here. We've got Rose. Mark is doing good. We're all doing good. We are all doing awesome. And that's really what it comes down to. Growing your community, hanging out with people, and all of those sort of things. So we got here that a niche is essentially a niche is about focusing on a specific slice of a larger world where you can excel or service better than the broader competition. What you want to do is you want to stand out. And I am now just remembering this, that there is a thing that we all probably have in our bedrooms, maybe, I don't know. People might call it a dresser or something, but a chest of drawers. And I heard this thing on a TikTok or something this week, and it really struck me. When you are going into a niche, your niche might not be exactly what you think it should be. Chest of drawers is a niche in like, bedroom apparel, to put your clothes in and stuff like that. Chest of drawers. So somebody went out there and they called themselves, and they market everything to Chester drawers. So everybody who misspells chest of drawers and puts Chester drawers in, they are just bombarded and flooded with everybody from that market. So they created their own niche without really even knowing it. And, from what I saw in the video, they're doing absolutely well. So go ahead and make mistakes out there. Look at what mistakes other people are making and capitalize on those sort of things and create your niche. So I did this, and, niches IRL. So in real life, we've got some niches, and we've got the state and the city here. Now, everybody is proud of the state they're from or the city they're from, or they like to make fun of it in some sort of way. So These two are maybe one of the largest here in the United States. We've got very recognizable states like Michigan. We've got recognizable states like Florida. Um, other California is pretty recognizable. There's a state that's bigger than everybody else, and everything's bigger. Texas, I believe it's called. That's a pretty recognizable state. There's other ones in there. Alaska's pretty recognizable. Hawaii is pretty recognizable. So these are things you can take the state and put things on it and do all of those sort of things. And what were my examples in here on this slide? Let's see. My examples, home decor featuring state outlines, like the ones I was just talking about. You can just put maps on there or flags or something like that, all sorts of cool things. State themed mugs, pillows, or wall art. Those are absolutely insanely popular. They will always be popular. They are an evergreen product. You can take local landmarks and digital and put them in digital prints or vinyl decals, stuff like that. City skylines are awesome, great. You can do them either in a Chromolux thing, or you can do it that way, or you can do it in silhouette. Local phrases or slangs on apparel and accessories, famous city icons, street maps, and stuff like that. So I'm from Detroit. You might want to put the fist down there, the spirit. If you've ever been to Detroit, there's a gigantic fist down there. It's, very, very popular. Pretty cool. The spirit of Detroit. It's got a lot of things down there. You could also put like local area things, like a coney dog being from up there. If you're from up in the peninsula or elsewhere, you might have a pasty, or down here you might have a po' boy or a shrimp, or some red beans and rice, something that's just local to the area. There was one other thing in here I was going to suggest on there. Oh, maps and streets. People love, where they're from. They love, saying where they grew up and all those sort of things. They like seeing maps of, where they went to college. College town maps are huge. So those are just, ideas of the city and state area. We can niche into schools and teams. Now, before we get into this, I want to say, be careful, do everything correctly here. Make sure you're following all the guidelines and not, plagiarizing, stealing, and doing those sort of things, pirating. But graduation caps, banners, posters, anything with the school colors, mascots, or just the student, you could put their picture on it, their graduation photo, their first day of school logo, all sorts of things. You know, all those sort of things can go on there and are great for it. Dorm rooms, absolutely. They are just cinder block walls, and they need artwork. They need artwork, not only just logos and schools and school mottos and things like that, but print a picture of your kid in a diaper, when they were a kid, the most embarrassing picture you have, print it on them, on a Chromolux 18 by 12 by 18 panel, give it to them for their wall room, and have fun with that, because that's what their dorm room needs. Absolutely. You can customize notebooks or planners with school branding, catchphrases, all sorts of things. Stationery is a great school product. Bag tags, the patches, all sorts of things for that for schools. Teams can also go the same way, do the apparel, stickers, banners, flags, stuff like that. You can personalize the gear, like hockey pads, you can personalize it with their names. Football pads, personalize it with their names and numbers. You've got batting gloves and all sorts of things. I don't know if you've watched baseball and all the things they wear nowadays. Their oven mitts for sliding and all those things. Personalize those with their names and numbers. And let's never forget what all of this all comes down to, and that is our weekend tailgate warriors. And make fan decor for them, like flags, mugs, tumblers, drinkware, because they are going to be out there drinking. They're going to need their hot beverages in the morning and their cold beverages as the day goes on. That is what they're going to need. They're going to need flags. They're going to want to be freaks out there. So you're going to want to go out there. You're going to want to personalize all of that for them and have them waving their freak flags, having fun, and being awesome. So those are some things there. We can get into attitude and personality. These are also two other niches. So you can put motivational quotes on something like a poster, a mug, or a t-shirt. Funny or sarcastic phrases for office or home decor. You can also always, you are always allowed to. I give you a thumbs up and a pass on this to put a cat on anything you want to. And you can have designs that reflect your lifestyle mindset, like hustle hard or chill vibes, or anything like that. Personality. People are always going to want things with zodiac or horoscope themed digital art on them. Always, that's a big thing. Even when Mercury is not in Gatorade, you're going to definitely want those things. Hobbies and interest focused designs for gaming, reading, cooking. The car industry and the car coaster that's the product that came to mind for that. The service industry in bars and restaurants with keychains, bag tags, but you got your bottle openers. And I think it's funny because Rachel got a gift, and it's a t-shirt someone got it for, and they didn't even notice it, but it's like some sort of character on it, and they're playing video games, and it says "Don't brother me," and it's supposed to say "Don't bother me," but it's completely misspelled. It's really funny, and we laugh at it all the time. So don't brother me, I'm playing video games. But that's something. Video games, all those sort of things, those are all niches you can get into. And remember, customized characters, avatars, or name-based art. You've got all of that. Graffiti-based art with someone's name on it. Create those sort of things in your Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. Go for the idea of what's that stuff called, airbrushing. Go for those sort of things. And as I showed you earlier, with my characters here, characters, have fun with your characters. Definitely have fun with your characters. If you are one of those people that can draw professional characters, awesome. Do those sort of things, because that is absolutely personalized to the max. Don't forget, we've got religious-based things, faith-based quotes or scripture on a wall, mug art, wall art, mugs, apparel, symbols like crosses, stars, or mandalas, and home decor. You also got holiday, seasonal religious decorations, stuff like that in digital prints, and all sorts of things. We on Conde.com, we just got this cross. I believe it's cross 98. If you type cross in, it'll come there. It's that's one thing in there. We've got the cross 97 still. I am working on right now getting together all of the ornaments and getting you guys a holiday guide. So look for that. Sign up for the email blast. You'll get it. Like, share, subscribe, all those sorts of things to this, and you'll know when that is coming. And that's something there that you can get into, all of those sort of things. Those sorts of things. So yeah. Oh wait, you can get beach vibes. I'm thinking for the weekend. When I wrote this, I was definitely thinking for the weekend. And you've got tropical or ocean themed wall art, mugs, apparel, bag tags, all of those things. Everything on Conde.com is ready for beach vibes, and just absolutely awesome. Think of palm trees, sunsets, surfboards, or seashell designs, or coastal quotes, sayings like "Life's a beach." And here's something. I watched this thing the other day on New Orleans, and something I didn't really know, and now it's in my YouTube algorithm that's personalized to me. But I was watching a thing on people creating signs and wall art with like the lettering and all those things, and just a few people over in New Orleans created like all the iconic wall art, and it's something that has like trillions of views. It's probably close to one. Wall art is one of the largest, if not the largest, art that is consumed on a daily basis and seen. But there's these two artists, and they're in a feud, and I don't remember their names. One of the guys was French and funny, and the other guy was also funny. It was a good documentary, very colorful, very, very animated. But there's a saying, I guess, in New Orleans that says "Be nice or leave," and that's what that reminded me there. And they're fighting over who gets the rights to it, and all of those sort of things, and who created it first. So guess what? Just be nice or leave. Okay, that's the rule here. I like that rule. So those are things you can create. Absolutely awesome niches. And then the last niche is here. We've got generational themes. Now everything else here had 3, so this one had to have 3. And I completely forgot about the 60s And the 2000s, I think the 2Ks also have a generational theme. But the 70s, you definitely get your retro browns and all those things. Disco, you've got your peace signs, you've got your vintage fonts like Far Out and all of those sort of things. Into the 980s, you've got your neon colors, your arcade graphics, your cassette tapes, pop culture references, video games started popping up, all sorts of just things just created in that culture, awesome, awesome spandex, hairspray, large TVs, that sat on the floor. Absolutely interesting time. Then the 90s were a little interesting because they did kind of mix the 80s in a way, but then grunge and the Seattle movement came in and kind of flannel took off and all those things. But you still had your Taco Bell, your Jazzy Cups and your Taco Bells with the teal, the purple, and all those things. You've got your pixel art coming in. You've got your early internet nostalgia, which actually peaks in the Y2K era. And then you've got popular movies and TV quotes. Now, I could be biased, but I think the best movies come from the 80s and 90s, maybe the early 2000s. The pre-digital stuff really has this like filmic grain quality that I really do enjoy. But, that's your niches and all those sort of things. And choosing a niche is hard. It is. Choosing a niche is hard. Choosing an area that you want to be personalized is really, really, really hard, and it's something that takes time. I want to read this that from Edward. I'm glad you stumbled upon us too, Edward, because I've missed you. How's everything been? Check out 309. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check that out for sure. And that's the thing, Edward, your area. I know Edward's over there on the East Coast. I'm going to say Pennsylvania. He could be from New York, and I could be, you know, insulting him in some sort of way. But I know he's over there in the East Coast and all those things and doing stuff for firefighters. And that's another niche, your local charities, organizations like firefighters and the police and, nurses, EMTs, getting all of those things. I knew you were from Pennsylvania. You're my kind of guy. All those sort of things. You know, Getting into that, your area best, the local landmarks, the things to take pictures of, the things that tourists want. And that's what's interesting about America, like the United States and Americana, is that we are all kind of just like small niches and small communities that all share something, but we're all connected on these highways and we can go visit them and we can go see all these things. And it's just great going out there and seeing different people and different things that all have a similar feel, but are just just a little bit different, and here at Conde, we are completely different. I'm going to just let you know that, and I'm not going to apologize. There's going to be weird things all the time, everywhere. But we do partner up with the best out there. We partnered up with Caesar. We partnered up with Epson. We have partnered up with Geonite. We partnered up with Stahl's Hottronics. We have partnered up with a lot of people. I'm probably forgetting some things because I'm trying to get to Mark's question over here to lead into that. But we've got our own things here. We've got Sublo linen, like what I am wearing here. That's a great product. We've got a whole line of Sublo linen. We've got a whole line of Mako metal, which is 90% recycled aluminum that is made here in the United States. It's great. It's low quality, but high, not sorry, it's low cost, but high quality. That's what it is. It's low cost, so you can get a lot for your money, and it's high quality. Very, very good. Those sort of things, and we've got that. We've got our dye trans lineup. We've got Pro Spray here. You guys know about Pro Spray. We've got a whole bunch of different products here, but we've also teamed up with DTF Station, and Mark's over here asking a question, to purchase a laser, what will you think would be a good for a beginner? And that's a hard question really to answer. DTF Station, with our partnership, we are going to be able to soon. We are able to now. We've just got to get it up on the website and get our ducks in a row, or whatever you call it these days. But we are offering X Tool, so we can offer the X Tool lasers here, and the F1 and the P2, I believe. Those are really, really good cutter or laser engravers. And really, it depends on what you want to get. Are you looking to cut metal? Are you looking to cut wood? What are you looking to cut would be the idea on that. You know, do I recommend going to Amazon and getting a cheap, inexpensive laser engraver? I'm not really sure how well those are going to work, what sort of support you're going to have for that, the learning curve and how long that's going to last. But I can tell you that with Xtool and Xtool DTF Station and Conde, you're going to get product support, you're going to get answers, you're going to get technical support, and you're going to get an absolutely amazing product for what you purchase. So that is my answer on that. I would stay and you can always email me too. Anyone out there that has any questions that wants to a further answer on this, because I'm kind of being vague and everything. But you can email me bo@conde.com. We can talk about lasers. We can talk about sublimation. We can talk about white toner, because I forgot even saying that we partnered up with Nina. We've partnered up with Forever. We've partnered up with Creo. We've got a lot of partners. We've got a lot of brands out there that have trust enough to sell their products. We've got trust in them that we want to sell their products to you guys and have all those sorts of things. So that really is, the Conde thing there. It's just trust. We want to make your experience as personalized and as awesome as absolutely possible. That is exactly what we would want to do on those sorts of things. That's exactly what we have there. Email me, Mark. We can get on that, because I want to say that it would be the P2 is what you are looking for wood. I'm not the greatest laser. I'm not that well versed in laser engraving. I'd have to look at my notes again and all those sorts of things. I'm looking forward to Printing United. It's coming up in October. I'm going to say the 18th. 19th, 20th sounds about right to me, somewhere around there. I don't know. I just signed up today. It's in Orlando, Florida. So go there, go to Disney. Maybe we can all go to the spooky nights at one of the places and have fun there afterwards. But yeah, I'm looking forward, because I'll get to get my hands on some of these things and really understand what each is for, all those sorts of things. So this is all new to us. It's really only been in the works for a few weeks, and yeah, it's something I'm really, really looking forward to. So yeah, you can always email sales@conde.com. You see something on here you want, got any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to say on there, you can always email sales@conde.com, or you can always just give us a call at 1-800-826-6332. That's 1-800-826-6332. We are live, people. There's no robots answering here. You can give us a call. I did get a call the other day from a robot, and it was really, really, really weird, because it was weird. I'll just tell you that I got a call and I was like, "Man, are you a robot?" And it said, "Yes, I am in fact not human." So we are humans. We are answering the phones. We are doing all of that, so this was absolutely fun. We'll get more into personalization, all the products, all those sorts of things. We're going to be churning and burning through the holiday seasons. Now's your time to stock up before the rush too. We just received a shipment. We are completely stocked to the gills. We are ready to go. So go to conde.com, check out everything there, do what you do best. Thank you guys for all your support. Thank you for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does. I'm not just saying that. It really, really does. I enjoy each and every one of you. I enjoy our conversations. I enjoy talking to you. I enjoy you guys all, because you guys are all special individuals in the best way possible. I mean that. Talking to one the other day, and they said they were a real pain in the butt. And I'm like, you spent $15,000 on something. You should be a pain in the butt, and that should work for you. And that is exactly how I feel about that. And yeah, I think that this was wonderful. Possibly I'm going to the beach tomorrow. I haven't looked at the weather, because it is the weekend, and we all do deserve a good weekend. So what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to rest, relax, recoup, get ready for next week. Maybe you guys got some crazy orders to do over the weekends. Whatever you got to do it awesome. And yeah, this has been absolutely wonderful. I don't know if I'm going to be live next week, because next week is the holiday weekend. So I might take a week off and then come back with the holiday special. That's my plan right now. I don't know if I'll stick to it, but yeah. So everybody out there, I want you all to stay awesome. Keep doing your things you're doing. Go to conde.com, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.